Alright, aloha everyone. So I'm going to do my video for creating meaning with type. So what I'm going to be talking about in this video is I'm going to be talking about the history of type, how it progressed throughout the years, and how we can use it and use it effectively now, and the different techniques that we can use to achieve different effects. So firstly, I'm going to go to the history of print. So firstly, I'm going to talk about the first kind of print, which is called the black letter style. So this is the black letter style. So it was a handwritten font that was duplicated by Gutenberg to print the Bible using his printing system. So this was the first kind of print that was created. As you can see, it's very fancy. It's very detailed, and it's quite aesthetically appealing. So I'm going to go talk about some of the other prints that was introduced. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this, just so you can see it a little bit better. So firstly, we have these top three. So the first one is the humanist or the old style. So this is the Roman typefaces of the 15th and 16th centuries, emulated classical calligraphy. Sabon was designed by Jan Tissot in 1966 based on the 16th century typefaces of Claude Caraman. And then we come over to here. It's the transitional or basketball. So these typefaces have sharper serifs and a more vertical axis than humanist letters. When the typefaces of John Baskerville were introduced in the mid-18th century, their sharp forms and high contrast were considered shocking. And next we have modern, which is the typefaces designed by Giambattista Bodini in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. And they're radically abstract. And note that the thin straight serifs, vertical axis, and sharp contrast form from thick here to thin strokes. Okay, I can see how these are very different to the earlier black letter style. They have a lot more accents in them, and yeah, so we are going to go on to Egyptian or slab serif. Now, this is a numerous bold and decorative typefaces which were introduced in the 19th century for use in advertising. Egyptian typefaces have heavy stab-like serifs. So here we have, it goes up like that. So it's like a stab like, okay. All right, coming to the last three, we have geometric sans serif, and some sans serif types are built around geometric forms. In Futura, designed by Paul Renner in 1927, the O's are perfect circles and the peaks of the A and M are sharpened triangles. So like right here, and we have the O of the A, it's very circular as compared to this A over here. So next we have the transitional sans serif or the anonymous sans, and it's a Helvetica designed by Max Miedinger in 1957. It is one of the world's most widely used typefaces. Its uniform upright character makes it similar to transitional serif letters. These fonts are also referred to as anonymous sans serif, as I said just before. Okay, and lastly, humanist sans serif. Now these types of typefaces became common in the 20th century. So Gill Sans, designed by Eric Gill in 1928, has humanist characteristics. So note the small lilting counter in the letter A, and the calligraphy variations in line width. So over here we have different kinds of thickness and that kind of thing. Okay, so that's a little bit about the history of typefaces and fonts. So we're gonna go over to this graph, which shows the progression of the typefaces in history, and as they progress, they become more mechanical and more contemporary as they become more modern. So here are the older styles. So they were more personal, they were less contemporary than the ones we had now, and they're a lot more intricate, they're more detailed, and then they're a lot more nicer. I like these ones a lot better. And then as we move up to the more modern ones, we get a lot more mechanical. We get less of the serifs. We get more sans serif, and then we come to the very contemporary one, very mechanical. None of them are serif. Serif, sorry. And they look a lot more mechanical than here. These are a lot more fancier. These are a lot more generic. And then we're gonna come over here. So here's a few tips. Never bold serif font like here. And this is just showing you a whole array of types of styles that you can have of fonts. We have regular, bold, here, do not bold, serif print. We have italics, and then we have contrasting. So these different things give the different fonts the different effects that you are going for. So the next slide, we're going to talk about how we can utilize these different effects and styles. So up here, if you're trying to achieve a loud and angrier tone to your fonts and your message through your typefaces, you're going to use bold and uppercase letters, and these will give you impact. And they'll give you the loud and angry effect that you're trying to achieve, or more on that spectrum. So you're going to use bold colors, black, and higher uppercase letters. And then as we descend, down to calm and quiet, we're going to have less bold. We're going to have probably like the more regular or the extra light, and then we can use the contrasting right here, the gray, lighter colors, to give that more of a quiet feel to your typefaces and your fonts. So this is my slide for creating meaning with type. Hope you learned a lot from my video about the histories and the how the fonts have progressed through time and history. And I hope you learned a few things about utilizing your fonts as well. So thank you for watching. Mahalo!